You sit down to start something important. You know the task. You know the responsibility. You know the consequences of avoiding it. But when your hands touch the keyboard, or when you look at the first step, something inside you collapses. Your chest gets heavy. Your energy disappears. Your mind disconnects from your intention. You feel the impulse to escape. And part of you wonders why this happens again and again. Most people call this moment procrastination, but procrastination is just the surface. What you are feeling is not simply a delay. It is not a choice to be unproductive. It is not a lack of ambition. Deep inside, there is a part of you that is terrified of beginning. A part of you that believes starting something is dangerous. A part of you that doesn't trust you will be safe if you take the first step. This is where the difference between procrastination and a trauma response becomes clear. Procrastination says you are avoiding the task. A trauma response says your body is protecting you from the emotion the task brings up. This difference is massive. One labels you as lazy. The other reveals you are carrying something heavy and unprocessed. Many people who struggle with this have no idea how early this pattern began. It often starts in childhood, when criticism, pressure, or emotional inconsistency shaped your nervous system. If you grew up afraid of making mistakes, afraid of disappointing someone, or afraid of being judged, your body learned a single rule. Doing something new can lead to pain. Taking initiative can lead to shame. Being visible can lead to rejection. Your mind may not remember every detail, but your nervous system remembers the emotional tone. It remembers the pressure in the room. It remembers the fear of getting something wrong. It remembers the way your stomach tightened when someone raised their voice. It remembers the silence that followed when you tried and failed. And now, as an adult, those memories come back not as images, but as sensations. The heaviness, the freeze, the urge to escape. When you try to start something today, your body reacts as if the past is happening again. Not because the task is dangerous, but because your nervous system learned to associate action with threat. This is why your energy disappears the moment you try to move forward. This is why your thoughts scatter. This is why you suddenly feel exhausted, distracted, or numb. Your body is not resisting the task. It is resisting the emotional risk. And sometimes the emotional risk is subtle. It might be the fear of disappointing someone, the fear of being seen starting something imperfect, the fear of failing, the fear of trying your best and still not being enough, the fear of being visible, the fear of taking up space. These fears may not speak loudly, but they guide your reactions in silence. Your nervous system responds before your mind even understands what is happening. Another element that amplifies this is emotional overload. When you have lived through long periods of stress or unpredictability, your nervous system becomes sensitive to even small demands. Tasks that look simple from the outside feel heavy from the inside. The weight comes not from the task, but from the emotional exhaustion you carry. Your body is already overloaded, so anything more feels impossible. You might have capacity for one more thing, but your system is saying no. Not because you are weak, but because you are already carrying too much. Trauma also affects executive functioning, the part of your brain responsible for starting, planning, and organizing. When this area is overwhelmed, you can want to try to start, and still not move. It feels like pressing the gas pedal in a car that refuses to accelerate. It feels like your brain is disconnected from your body. You have the intention, but not the engine. This is not laziness. This is neurological fatigue. This is what happens when your prefrontal cortex, the part that initiates action, has been depleted by chronic stress. And then comes perfectionism. Perfectionism feels like ambition, but it is often the opposite. It is fear wearing a mask. Fear of mistakes. Fear of being seen as inadequate. Fear of disappointing everyone. Fear of repeating old pain. When perfectionism is rooted in trauma, starting becomes terrifying because you are afraid of everything that can go wrong. So your body freezes to protect you from the possibility of failure. You tell yourself you will start when you feel ready, when you know exactly what to do, when you have the perfect plan. But that moment never comes. Because the fear of imperfection is not about the task. It is about the shame you learn to associate with being wrong. People rarely talk about the internal war that happens during procrastination. There is the part of you that desperately wants to move forward, that wants to change your life, that wants to accomplish something meaningful. And there is the part of you that believes movement is dangerous, that believes exposure leads to judgment, that believes trying leads to failure, That inner conflict creates tension, exhaustion, and self-blame. You begin to wonder whether you are capable at all, not realizing that the battle is not between you and the task, but between two parts of your nervous system. One part is trying to push you forward. The other is trying to keep you safe. And they are fighting. This internal conflict is also why you feel so much shame around procrastination. You are not just avoiding a task. You are experiencing a war inside yourself. And when you don't understand that war, you blame yourself. You think you are weak. You think you lack discipline. You think something is fundamentally wrong with you. But nothing is wrong with you. You are simply responding to old programming that is trying to protect you. The freeze response is one of the most misunderstood survival mechanisms. When you face a threat, your body has three main options: fight, flight, or freeze. Fighting means you stand up and resist. Flight means you run away. Freeze means you go numb and still. Freeze is not weakness. It is a survival strategy. It is your body saying, if I don't move, maybe the threat will pass. Maybe I will be safe. Freeze kept your ancestors alive when they were hunted. Freeze kept you alive in environments where moving meant getting hurt. But freeze was designed for physical threats. When you use it for emotional threats, it becomes procrastination. Your body freezes to protect you from the shame of starting something imperfectly. Your body freezes to protect you from the judgment of being seen trying. Your body freezes to protect you from the disappointment of not being perfect. And every time you freeze, you reinforce the pattern. Your nervous system learns, freezing works. Freezing keeps me safe. So next time, it freezes faster and harder. Now, there is something else happening that makes this even more complex. Many people with trauma histories also struggle with perfectionism because perfectionism was the only way they learned to survive. If you grew up with conditional love, where you were only valued for your achievements, your nervous system learned that being perfect is the only way to be safe. Being perfect is the only way to be loved. Being perfect is the only way to matter. So now, as an adult, you cannot start anything unless you can do it perfectly. And since nothing is ever perfect, you never start. This creates a vicious cycle. You want to change. You want to move forward. You want to accomplish something. But the moment you try, your nervous system activates the freeze response. And you interpret that freeze as proof that you are not capable. So you blame yourself. And the shame deepens the freeze. And the freeze deepens the shame. And you become more and more stuck. So how do you break this cycle? You begin by understanding that nothing is wrong with you. Your reaction makes sense once you see where it comes from. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not incapable. You are responding to old wounds with old survival strategies. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was trained to do. It is protecting you. It just does not realize that you are no longer in danger. Start by noticing what happens in your body before the freeze. Your shoulders tighten. Your breath becomes shallow. Your jaw clenches. Your stomach feels heavy. Your chest feels tight. Your eyes feel tired. These are signals from a younger version of you who learned that the world was unsafe. By noticing these sensations, you interrupt the automatic cycle. You bring awareness to the pattern. And awareness is the first step toward change. You become the adult who can help your nervous system feel safe again. Then make the task smaller. Much smaller. Your nervous system reacts to the emotional meaning of the task, not the task itself. When the task becomes tiny, your system stops perceiving it as a threat. Opening a document is less threatening than writing a paragraph. Placing one object away is less threatening than cleaning a room. Responding to one message is less threatening than replying to all of them. Writing one sentence is less threatening than writing a page. Safety is built in small steps. And when your system feels safe, it can move. Allow imperfection. Your nervous system cannot relax if it believes you are walking into a test you might fail. But it can relax if you approach the task as an experiment instead of a performance. Tell yourself the first version is allowed to be messy. Tell yourself that mistakes are part of learning, not proof of failure. When the pressure for perfection disappears, the fear behind your procrastination dissolves too. You are no longer trying to be perfect. You are simply trying to exist and move at the same time. Bring your body into the process. Safety is not created in your thoughts. It is created in your physiology. Slow your breath. Relax your shoulders. Feel your feet on the ground. Let your exhale be longer than your inhale. These signals calm the fear response that triggers the freeze. Your nervous system listens to your body more than it listens to your mind. So when your body is calm, your system believes you are safe. And when it believes you are safe, it releases the freeze. Create a gentle environment. Use warm lighting, calming music, or a drink that suits you. These cues tell your nervous system that it is safe to move. Safety is the foundation of action. When your environment feels hostile, your system stays defensive. When your environment feels kind, your system can relax. You are teaching your body that starting a task does not have to be a battle. It can be gentle. And finally, speak to yourself with compassion. Not the harsh voice you learned from others. Not the inner critic that keeps you frozen. Talk to yourself softly, patiently, as if talking to someone who survived more than you know. Because you did. You survived. You are still here. And that is enough. That is more than enough. You are not failing. You are healing. You are learning to break patterns that were formed long before you had a choice. And healing takes time. It takes gentleness. It takes understanding. But once your nervous system feels safe enough to start, you will find that the energy you thought you lacked was never gone. It was just waiting for safety. It was just waiting for you to prove to your body that you are no longer in danger, that you can take action and still be safe, that you can try and still be worthy, that you can move forward and still be loved. The moment you stop blaming yourself is the moment your healing actually begins. And that moment can be now.